Welcome to the Nintopics podcast. We are season 2, episode 2, and we are back bigger and better.
That was great timing. That was so satisfying.
That kind of ended perfectly with the music.
That was
nice.
pretty good.
Amazing.
Pretty proud of you.
It all goes downhill from here.
Pretty much. Honestly.
Oh, no.
So we are back, and we are basically today. It's a big day, guys. It's a big day. It's a lot of tears, a lot of kingdoms, and a lot of stuff, massive swords, and a whole bunch of goblins and stuff, purplings,
And trees.
And trees and dark areas, because today for me was a crazy day. But let's start out with our Nintopics podcast crew, and let's start out with Paul Gale Network. How you doing, Paul?
Oh, very good. Getting in some sleep here and there, very sporadically, but most of my time is focused on Zelda. So I'm good.
I bet, man. I saw your tweet on Twitter with all the. How can this guy be already like 40-something shrines already completed?
So I benefited from not having work for several days because I'm teaching finals right now. So I had a little gap in between where I'm just like 8-9 hour day runs, and my kids want to play too because they're into it also. So they had their files. So that's when I take a break. It's been fun.
We got to Joycey. Joycey, how's it going?
Hey, sorry I'm not on camera, folks. Headaches are terrible. Do not stare at Zelda games for longer than 40 hours, like I have done.
It do be like that sometimes. Worth it.
It'd be like that.
It'd be like that. It really does.
Totally
worth it.
Nothing. I'm in the same boat as everybody else. I think the only person who hasn't been playing Zelda much is on this podcast is probably Linz, but I'm deep in Zelda. I'm deep in the lore. I'm going to bed at 4. I'm playing. I'm at least 2.
Oh my
at least 2
No, you're
playing
not.
that game. It's consumed me. It's a big problem, but I will be shocked if it's not Game of the Year.
Yeah. Man, I mean, we'll talk about it later in the discussion because there's so much to talk about when it comes to Tears of the Kingdom. It's more than anybody ever thought it was going to be, and crazy. And let's move on to Linz. Tell us, Linz, what have or not what have you been playing? How are you? What's going on? What's the deal?
I'm good. It's been a very busy week, and I don't feel like I've just had like a day where I'm not just like constantly going at like Mach 90 miles an hour, just constantly doing anything and everything that has to be done all at once. Mm-hmm. But we're thriving, we're surviving, we're drinking way more caffeine than doctors would probably recommend, and we're going.
Nice.
Wow. God, for anybody who doesn't can't see us, because we have the video podcast on the channel. We also have the audio podcast. Everywhere, I mean, literally everywhere a podcast can be heard under your couch if you want to. It's there. Just look for it. Nintopics podcast. It's there. You know what? Go on top of your room and scream it. Nintopics podcast. You probably hear us just kind of yell back at you.
Also, check your potatoes.
Potatoes.
Yeah, I guarantee you can hear us through a potato.
So a potato, you have to have like a little antenna on top like
just
that.
Fuse
No.
Oh, that's good.
Fuse the
just
antenna
fuse
to the
it.
potato.
Good reference.
Exactly.
Just fuse it.
It's like SpongeBob's Magic Conch, where he pulls the string and you just hear the Nintopics like intro come out.
Yeah.
And there's 2 cups on a string.
That works.
Never
It's a
got
lot
to do
of fun
that.
to do.
No, not a potato.
What, a potato?
No. Two cans
I
with a
never
string.
got to do
to
that.
talk.
What, a potato?
Or 2 cans with a string. Yeah.
No.
You mean a potato works
That's
as communication? What? Yeah.
I was about to try it myself. I'm like, wait,
That's it.
I don't have to spend money on my phone bill. I can just use potatoes everywhere.
Yep, that's
This
it.
thing?
And then you can have a meal afterwards if you have.
So,
Indeed.
so I guess I'll change my apple to potato.
Have you not heard? The people of Idaho
All
haven't
the
paid a
potato.
phone bill in years. They're all just communicating via potato.
All potato.
I guess apple's not a thing over there, right?
No, it's just potato. That's it.
It's a vegetable podcast.
Anyway, let's move on to our next segment. What have you guys? What kind of question is that? But let's still ask it, right? What have you been playing? I'm gonna start with Lynn because Lynn, we know, just because.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have the most different answer than everyone else here.
Exactly. So go ahead. You start. Go ahead.
Right. Pokemon Unite still is not balanced in any way, shape, or form, so we kind of dropped that, buddy old pal. I've been playing a lot of Star Rail still. Yeah. Vandy will be very happy to hear that I did update and load up Genshin Impact again today.
You did?
That was a very big thing.
Wait, why?
I did.
Come over to the dark side.
I don't know. I felt like it.
Let's go.
So anyways, I did that and he's very thrilled about it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to find other games to fill the time. I really love Zelda and I'm really happy for all of you guys. Mm-hmm. Zelda's just like not the game that works very well with my brain. If I could watch people play Zelda, I would be content. Because like it's really pretty and you guys got an amazing game and I'm really happy for you guys and I just don't want people to be like, oh my god, she in the comment section and stuff like that. But I'm really happy for y'all. I have tried to get into Zelda. It's just not my bread and butter.
That's okay though.
I'm here for vibes.
That's okay.
Is it okay? Is it?
No, it is because we need somebody on the outside because we're all in caves right now, just playing Zelda right now. We need somebody on the outside.
Yeah, so that's a thing. That's a thing. So let's go over to Joycey. Joycey, what's up? What have you not been playing lately?
I have been totally neglecting Splatoon, unfortunately. I do love Splatoon. Like I said, I have about 600 hours in the game already since Splatoon 3 dropped. And then I tried so hard to finally finish Octopath Traveler 2. I have the final boss, and then there's the final boss. And I just literally ran out of time. But I am going to get back to it because the game's not 100% until I do. So there's that. But those are my games of choice. Before crying over the, I was crying over the castle.
Crying over the castle.
So,
yeah.
Crying over the castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, crying over the castle.
Mm-hmm. As you do.
As you do. That's Lynn's joke. I'm sorry. That still lives rent free in my head. It's just so funny.
It's a catchphrase now. It's a catchphrase now for the podcast.
I have not played a game other than Tears of the Kingdom since the last podcast was introduced. I maybe like 5 minutes of Star Rail, but it's been all Tears of the Kingdom. When you said how in the world do you have like 40 shrines beaten, I think I'm like closer to 60. Like I'm cruising through that game. I am very heavily deep into it, and
crazy.
Like in Lynn's defense, when she said Zelda's not her type of game, I know her very well. That is 100% true, because she's always like, I like when they give me like direction and they kind of tell me what to do, but like I can venture off a little bit, but like I like the story. This game is like they drop you and they're like, go have fun. Go have fun. Yeah, Sky Island, like this little tutorial. Go have fun.
Yeah.
Go have fun.
Go do stuff.
Literally. And that's my kind of game. I love it.
The world is your oyster. Yeah, and then has anybody said what they were playing, Joycey and Paul?
We talked about it before we went live, but yeah, nothing but Tears of the Kingdom since what is it, Wednesday? Yeah, since Wednesday last week, 9:30 at night. Got my collector's edition, came home, and then just these 8-9 hour runs, and it's been a blast. Loving it. Not rushing it in any capacity, but putting in the time that you would think like, man, you've been playing for 46 hours or so. Are you done? Are you trying to rush? No, I'm just taking my time. I could be up here for hours before moving on to the next section because I know that there's things hidden in it, and just I love it. Nothing else but Zelda.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, and I've been playing another game though. Another game, right? It's a sponsored game, but it's another game. It's a simulator. It involves planting stuff and then trying to crops and then big machines and a whole bunch of stuff that I
Farm Simulator.
I need to get better at it.
You're playing Farming Simulator.
Farming Simulator.
Let's go.
That's awesome.
Every
I think coming on Nintendo Switch this on the 23rd of this month. I hope that information is already out. But
wait, so they're making another farming game after that one direct where they introduced like 8 of them?
Oh yeah, that
was wildly that was farming games.
Farming direct for farming.
Yeah.
I'm like 80% don't believe you, but there's that 20% where like I wouldn't doubt it. It was just farming. Yeah.
They'll just communicated. They were like, all right, so I'm going to release a farming game. We got to have like a gap in between. So we spread out all the farming games throughout the entire direct.
It ties back to potatoes being popular, which was the beginning of the podcast.
It does. It's the people of Idaho who created the Presents. It makes sense.
Where the
Idaho's like, we're being heard.
It's all connected.
The Midwest is like sweating right now. They're like, they see us. They see us.
Oh, there you go.
He's back. We're good.
And now we can't hear him.
For those of you who are on audio, Mike just vanished into the shadow realm.
Okay, well now you're just mouthing stuff.
Mike.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Linz, you're in charge of the podcast. Go.
All right, everyone, give me your best dad joke. 3, 2,
I don't know
1,
any.
go.
They have to come to you. That's the thing about dad jokes. You have to make them on the spot, and you know they're not funny, but you make them, and I think that's what makes it the dad joke.
Right. So, a cat went into a library, right? And the cat went up to the librarian and said, "I'll have some tuna fish, please." And the librarian said, "Man, this is a library." And the cat goes, "You're right. I'll have some tuna fish, please."
You just get Ricky another joke that's going to live rent-free in her head until next podcast when she makes that same joke. That lens is so funny.
I am, especially because I love cats.
Oh my goodness.
All right, gamers, what is your most underrepresented, underappreciated Nintendo game in your opinion?
Underappreciated?
Ooh.
Underappreciated, like does not get the recognition it deserves for being a great game.
Pokemon XD and Coliseum count? Are they technically Nintendo? Because they're on Genius Sonority, but
I think they're
on the GameCube,
Genius.
the Nintendo GameCube. Would that be Nintendo? All right, listen up, you guys. Underappreciated. Best Pokemon games ever. Yes, better than Scarvy. Yes, better than Sword and Shield. Yes, better than PLA. I said it. All right. They were made in 2004, 2006, or 2002. They were 2 years. They were 2 years apart, and it's all about stealing shadow Pokemon from other trainers and using them on your team. And then you have to purify the shadow Pokemon by battling with them. And it actually has some like adult themes like explosions and thievery and very blatant kidnapping and dancing and amazing OSTs. I think I talked about it a little bit on the last podcast because I was playing through them again. Best Pokemon games ever. You will not be disappointed if you find them, but also because they're GameCube. They're like hundreds of dollars now, apparently, which makes me so sad.
All right.
I think Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. I mean, at the time, so many people wrote it off because of the play style. And, it wasn't the successor to Donkey Kong 64 that people wanted necessarily, or the Donkey Kong Country Trilogy on Super NES. And you had to play like this. Later it came out on Wii with different controls, but you had to tap, you had to clap, and that caused DK to have his actions in running, in fighting. But it was a really fun interactive game, and it looked beautiful. It held up really well. I wonder how it would do. Part of me wants to say just bring anything old and obscure like that on to Nintendo Switch, because Nintendo Switch is like the place for second chances so far. Every IP that Nintendo has had has found tremendous success. So maybe, Donkey Kong Jungle Beat from GameCube could find new light. But then again, I think that for a lot of titles that didn't sell well, like Kid Icarus Uprising from 3DS. Another one that I would say. So there's a few that the people who know what's up, but a couple of those titles just never got to be big enough audience to really talk about it.
Yeah.
So I guess that's my one or two.
Someone who was like a massive fan of DK64, like that's a top 5 game of all time for me. I was definitely very mad about that game, and I remember it because I'm like, I wanted another collectathon. I wanted another open levels kind of thing where you run around, and then you got that, and I'm like, I was one of the people that was ticked off about it, but now that you've said that, I'm like, was I just mad because it wasn't what I wanted, and it's actually like kind of a cool game?
I think with franchises that we only get one every 5 or 6 years, you want it to be that successor to what you love. when you get something like Mario where they come out quite frequently, you're more forgiving if it's more experimental because like, I only have to wait 2 more years to get my 2D Mario that I like. Or I'll wait a couple more years and they'll stop this Galaxy stuff, which I loved, and get back to something with more 3D platforming like 3D World. Oh, people don't like 3D World? I'll just wait a couple years and Odyssey comes out. But like Metroid or Donkey Kong, that's not as popular or comes out once every several, you want those to be that successor. And if it's not, it could be good, but might not be willing to try it out.
I actually
because
never thought about that.
Yeah, it's not that.
That's actually such a good.
That's
such a good point. I was just gonna say like I had never thought about how like they're so much more open to be experimental with games like Mario because they come out so frequently, and so like Mario Maker that could have been a huge bust if it wasn't received well. But then what, like 2 years later was Odyssey, which they knew everyone was going to love because it's the thing that they've done since 64, a 3D star collecting game. And so I had never thought about that. And I just thought that was really cool because, again, Donkey Kong doesn't come out very often at all. And we're still waiting.
Speaking of which, yeah, still waiting.
Jeez, still waiting, man.
Technically, Donkey Kong is the original. The original, right? He's the first IP created, right? Mario was featured in Donkey Kong in that first.
Yeah, 1940, like the barrel one.
1981.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the name Donkey Kong was even there before Mario was there because he was at the time his name was
Jumpman.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean they need to do something with Donkey Kong really fast and quick and give the love that he needs because I sense another open world coming from Donkey Kong. I hope they do, and it's a huge giant jungle we can explore. And
I'd freak out.
That's what I would love next. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Or
I have the.
Sorry.
What, Paul?
Go ahead. What do you have? No.
I was going to say that. So Linz and I go to this convention every year called Anime Week in Atlanta, and they always had these really cool OG games. And I bought a sealed Japanese Donkey Kong 64 in its original box,
cool.
And I have it right down there.
Oh my gosh!
And it's so cool. Yeah, they have like I got Pokemon Green right there, which was only released in Japan. But like again, DK64 was like my childhood game.
Yeah.
And if they make something similar to like a Mario, but it's like another DK64 with like levels, open world, collecting craziness like that. Ooh, it's gonna be another Tears of the Kingdom kind of thing where I'm not talking to anybody for a month.
It just goes monkey mode.
It's worth it.
Just go monkey. Worth it. So true.
If you've all seen the Mario movie, correct? I hope.
Yeah, I haven't. I saw it last night again. I saw it the day before, and then last night again. I'm probably watching every single night from now on.
If Donkey Kong, the next game, isn't a big 3D open world game or a designated 2D one, gosh, that Mario and Donkey Kong sequence in the film has made me really want that to exist in a game where it's this team up title. Like, that would be so cool.
Oh,
a team up title. You remember the old Simpsons arcade game?
Yeah.
You could have different power-ups between the different Simpsons characters. So like Mario would have his own moveset. He'd play differently, but Mario and DK could both go through the level the same way. But you have team-up attacks where if you're playing co-op, I'm in love with the idea, the way I'm seeing it, and maybe it's in the works. Hard to say.
That'd be really cool.
Usually the stuff we envision, they're thinking about too. It's just a matter of do they go this far with that product or not, with that idea or not.
Yeah, I mean, definitely would be awesome to have Donkey Kong collaborate with Mario and vice versa.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Have you guys ever played the game or heard of it? It Takes Two, like the most incredible. So it's pretty
on
much
the Switch.
Yeah. So if you haven't heard of it, it was pretty much the most interactive like game that you could only play, I believe, with 2 people.
Okay.
Because all of the levels were designated to like a cooperative puzzle solving adventure and then fighting together. Imagine if they made one for Mario and Donkey Kong. That'd be kind of wild.
Pretty dope.
That'd be pretty freaking cool. The OG angry people are now working together. Hooray.
Yeah.
I would like to see a level design after that very first Donkey Kong game, like a level, just like a level design
with the scaffolding and stuff. Like
yeah.
Well, we kind of got
DK64
and Odyssey. I mean,
and Odyssey, yeah.
I mean, I saw something really, really recently on the Family Guy where Peter Griffin he constructed like the Donkey Kong set in front of his house, and he's just throwing barrels.
That's funny.
Like,
how do they not get sued? How do they not get sued?
It's
That's so blatantly copyrighted.
Parody
Right.
play. I mean,
parody play. Yeah,
some
it wasn't Donkey Kong. It's just scaffolding and barrels.
Actually, I have it on the channel. I clipped it and I put it as a short. So if you want to take a look at it, it's
that's
good.
Funny.
It's funny. It's funny. Yeah. I edit all if there's any bad stuff, I always edit stuff out because it's family friendly. You know.
For sure.
So, but yeah, you know, you guys want to continue with the topic, or do you just want to move on to games we've been playing?
I mean, people haven't. Only me and Paul have given our answers.
Yeah.
I mean, the more we can talk about something that's not Tears of the Kingdom, because that is just what we're heading into. Yeah. I feel like this is a very cool, just random topic that we kind of sprung upon.
I agree.
Lynn's is genius.
I agree.
I tried. Go, Joycey, go.
Joycey, go.
I don't know if I have a great answer, but I will say that I have two games, something old school and something new school. I know that it's not on the Nintendo any longer. However, Ninja Gaiden was my stuff as a kid. And that game is hard. I can still hear the music. I can still hear the movements. Yeah. If I sat there with a controller, I could still do the movements and everything. And it's always bothered me that has not come back to Nintendo. Right. And I feel like it did get its flowers when it was popular. It did get its flowers. People still bring it up as one of the best and more challenging NES games. Because back in my day, youngins, let me stop. But seriously, back in my day, those games were NES games they just punished you. It's like, how dare you want to play for 20 hours with, we're not giving you much direction. We're going to make things very, cryptic. And even though, and as tough as Ninja Gaiden is, I do feel like, it's still one of those games. I feel like even the older ones, you can still pick up and play it. It's that good. And a little bit of new school. I'm gonna go. Okay, excuse me. I gotta go on my rant. We got to talk a little bit about Bayonetta, just a little bit, because I feel now Bayonetta 3 did drop on the Switch. There was some drama concerning that. Y'all can go back and look that up. I'm not going to talk about that part, but it did sell 1 million copies because it's the Switch effect. But it kind of came and went, and I said, wait a minute. Where's all the girl power and all the supportive girl power stuff that we normally have, that we want in every other game? We have a female protagonist. Granted, she's a little much. For our adult listeners and viewers, I highly recommend it. It's also an extremely challenging game. I mean, the point of the game is don't get hit. Just don't get hit. Okay. Yeah. But I think she's a little bit unsung. The direction of this third game was a little bit different, but it's a better story. And like I said, the gameplay is definitely there. And when people still look at me like, what's Bayonetta? I've never heard of that. And I'm like, my heart. How can you not love her? And just a little tiny little backstory to that. Platinum Games was really kind of struggling to get Bayonetta out. They were kind of on their last leg, and for Bayonetta 1 and 2, I believe they released on Xbox.
1 was Xbox 360 and PS3, and then 2 was exclusive for Wii U. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Genius! What the heck? Wow.
And they really, Platinum Games really struggled, and Nintendo took a chance on them. Like, hey, we're not going to make this kind of game, but it's okay if other people do. And we need this to also appeal, because Nintendo wants to appeal to everybody, not just kids, not just adults. And so that was a good way to kind of bring in an older audience who can play those kind of games. And I kind of feel like Bayonetta still doesn't get the recognition she deserves. Like, people like her in Smash Bros, but they don't really know what she's about all the time. They just know she's awesome and she's fabulous, she's sassy, all these good things. And I'm like, yeah, but you guys got to play her games. Yes, they're hard. Okay, I'll just say it. They're just hard. Okay, it's not even a challenge. They're just hard. But yeah, that's kind of like my homegirl unsung hero. So I'm hoping the next Bayonetta will really, really. Bayonetta Origins did come out. It's a very different art style, cell shaded, very, very pretty. I can't wait to play it. But yeah, I hope people give her a chance.
Yeah, and to add to that, I feel like with Bayonetta Origins, that's what they're trying to do, right? Because Bayonetta Origins is more, I feel like it's more family friendly in a way. You know, there's not a lot of the craziness that's in Bayonetta 3 for but Bayonetta 3, Bayonetta Origins is more like a toned down kind of more artsy kind of game.
Yes.
Kind of easier to play.
I don't know the story, so I don't know how family friendly it is, so I don't want to comment on that. But when I get to it in like a year, I'll tell you.
friendlier than the original franchise.
Okay.
My underrated game. Yeah. Essentially. I did not do mine. My answer is obviously Pokemon XD and Gale Directions and Coliseum. If I had to give an answer that's different, it's a much more modern answer. But I think it's one of the only games that when you play this game, it immediately makes you think of a time zone or like a period in time, essentially. And I think that that's really kind of cool for it. And that's Animal Crossing New Horizons in the way that it totally kind of like saved Nintendo a little bit during the pandemic.
Yes.
And it just like the game overall was just so like it saved so many people from just kind of like everything that was going on.
Mental health.
Mental health, exactly. And they gave you so many different updates and everything constantly. And it was kind of only when they stopped adding things to that game, everyone was like, no, that game was crazy. And now that we've kind of been in like just a drought for a while, everyone's just like, I want it back. And I didn't realize what I had when I had it. So I don't know. I think a lot of people just are like, tee Animal Crossing. But like, that is like the pandemic game, which is kind of cool and crazy at the same time. So it's going to be cool to see what they do next. But that's my
fun fact on that game. The updates were supposed to roll out in a period over 3 years, but because of the pandemic, they had to change a lot of the schedule, and a lot of it came out just every month almost. You have an update, and so they had to kind of rush a lot of out because of the pandemic, and they didn't know what was happening. It's like you're in the middle of pandemic. You have a game that's doing well. It's actually helping people. You're give it
that attention.
Yeah. What was going to happen was unknown. We were still in the middle of it. Who knew how long the pandemic would last? Nobody knew at that time. So what they were forced to do is actually just kind of almost release the entire calendar, 3-year calendar in about a year and a half, right? And then because of that, I think Happy Home was supposed to be released now.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it was supposed to be 3 years. This is the third year. Came out in 2020, the third year, and Happy Home was supposed to be announced now, so that it actually kind of expands the game over 3 years. I think it would have been better for people to kind of, now, because now everybody's already played it. They've done everything they need to do. But yeah, I mean, we're here now, and it's still a fantastic game. I can testify that's been a game in my home. My daughter has autism, and I also have my other teen just turned teen. I feel weird saying that teen, but they both have bonded so immensely over that game. It has brought them together. They become best friends because of it. They were on opposite ends of the house. They were on opposite ends of the house, like before this game came out. And because of this game, there's even after they don't play it anymore. But now they watch movies together. They have their little movie nights, Disney movie nights together, and it has brought them together. Like their relationship, I owe it to that game. And it's pretty amazing. So, yeah, Animal Crossing is an amazing game. If you haven't played it yet, you don't know what you're missing. You got to get on it right now. There's a lot to go over. I played it. I have not done the Happy Home thingy. I know I got hired by somebody came over to my island and, hey, you want to do some decoration? I'm like, sure. I've never done.
I bailed on that job.
And the game still has a pretty good active community. I mean, it's selling several 100,000 copies per quarter. It's now at like 42.3 million, only behind Mario Kart. And to its credit, it wasn't bundled in like Mario Kart has been for like the last 5 holiday periods. So Animal Crossing, pretty impressive.
Wait, was it not bundled in with the Animal Crossing Switch that came out?
Nope.
Only in the beginning. I think Japan had a bundle, maybe, where it was a Japanese Nintendo Switch and Animal Crossing. But in North America, that
they didn't cross their minds.
I don't know if that was a pun.
Like,
that's why I laughed.
Might have had a reason.
Cross their minds, Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
I thought you did on purpose. I chuckled.
Okay. I did not. I told you, dad jokes. They happen in the moment.
That's why I laughed. I'm not.
But I just like you would think it would do that.
Yeah.
You know, like why not?
Even the Tears of the Kingdom OLED, standalone, and the games on the side.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the OLED is, kind of different because, like, I think back when Mario Kart was being bundled, that was before the OLED was even a thing. And back when Animal Crossing was released, that was before it was even a thing.
Yeah.
So I just don't know why they would sell a Switch with Mario Kart, but then have an Animal Crossing Switch and just not include the game.
I think they did an Animal Crossing with the Switch Lite. And that what color is it? Paul's shirt's color. I can't remember.
It's like a bluish.
It's like a teal.
Like a blue. And I don't know. Paul can tell me if this was released was it in the United States with the Switch Lite, or was it only in Japan?
I think it was Japan, but I could be misinformed.
I can try and find it.
Switch Lite Animal Crossing bundle. Switch Lite.
I mean, it's on Amazon.
The regular Nintendo Switch, that one was with the white dock, and it had the pretty little water underneath it.
Yeah, it's cute. You can still buy it.
Ah, I can see it here. I see it was with I don't want to say pink. What would it's salmon? What color is that?
It's like the coral.
It says turquoise.
A coral, yeah. I'm a Friends watcher, so I watch Friends, and then it's not pink. It's salmon. Salmon. So yeah, that was a cool bundle. That was a cool bundle because of course kids they like their Switch Lites. My daughters did not want a Nintendo Switch. I wanted to get them the actual Switch because so they can have to choose. Nope. They wanted the Lite, and guess what? They have never once asked to play my Switch dock mode at all. They're so happy and just content with their Switch Lights everywhere. They're fine.
It worked.
So I mean,
I think that
right.
Kudos to them.
Never would have pegged them. Anyone.
I think a lot of the younger generation has grown up seeing parents on iPhones or portable smartphones with them, so they get used to from an earlier age that this is your entertainment. Mm-hmm. Whereas back in the day, like parents watching TV, it was television, VHS tape, and stuff like that. Wow. So, that's a whole other study.
It's the upgrade from the iPad.
Yeah,
I guess it is just an iPad.
You don't go to your office necessarily, unless if you're a content creator or work to do computer. You open up take out your pocket, and that's your computer. Sure. So with kids, a younger generation, it's like TV, like this is my thing. But I still play on TV, handheld. I play everything, as we all do, I think.
For sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, I'll fall out to my age, but before, I was born for no smartphone era. Actually, when I was born, when I was a kid, I don't think there was. Was there smartphones? Were there that big giant smartphones? Like
no, there weren't smartphones. This is Zach Moore's phone. You're probably thinking of.
Yeah, it's the big one, like the huge one with the little the gray one with the big thing. With
Yep.
That was a cell phone.
That was a cell phone, but it
wasn't a smartphone. It was just
that was the smartphone at the time.
It was a phone.
People were smart carrying it like that's huge thing attached to their ear,
size of a walkie-talkie.
Yeah. And then before that one, it was the one you carry with the suitcase. There was like suitcase, like a huge giant suitcase, like this big.
Yep.
And then it had like a phone attached to it, and that was a not a smartphone, a cell phone at the end. I think that the suitcase was a battery, like a huge giant battery.
And then when like my mom had a car phone, like this is like way back in the 90s. She had a car phone, and like all my friends thought it was the coolest thing, and everybody wanted to talk on the car phone. And I'm totally dating myself.
Okay.
Car phone.
Yeah.
And it had to be attached like in the car and everything. Like you couldn't take it out of the car. So
now thinking about it, not really thinking about it, I can't imagine the type of radiation those things emitted. Complain about the smartphone and all the radiation and all this stuff, but imagine carrying that huge battery in a suitcase with the little phone attached.
And those batteries, that suitcase, that's a wet waste height.
Right?
Radiation.
True.
Yeah, I got it. All right, so let's move on to what are we doing here? Let me see here.
News in my corner, I think, is what we're on.
Yep.
There you go. News in my corner. Well, I haven't gone over my underrated game yet.
You did.
True.
True. What is it?
I'm going to go really quick and say Kung Fu on the NES.
Ooh.
I love Kung Fu on the NES. Go ahead and look it up. It's Kung Fu on the NES.
Looking it up right now.
It's super classic. It's
yeah.
I can hear it in my head.
Yeah. Oh, whoa.
Oh, that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
okay.
I'm like, it's a Nintendo IP. It's their game. Why did they make more? Why couldn't we get more Kung Fu? I'm like, come on.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of games where this exact format exists. It's 1v1 fighting. I mean, this is pretty much Super Smash Bros, but with Kung Fu people.
Pretty much.
And Kung Fu was a little guy, and the only thing he did was punch and kick. Just it. Punch and kick, and you just got like little random dudes coming this from backward. And then and when you pass a level, you go up the stairs. I think it was just all the 8-bit sound effects that got me. I'm kind of nostalgic because like just a thing, just a thing. Yeah. So that's my game. I'll leave it. That's my game. All right, so let's move on to news in my corner. Let's start with Paul. Paul, what have you heard today?
Oh yeah, I'm glad that you picked me first because I had a feeling like someone's gonna say this one, and this was mine. So thank you. That worked out well. I gotta give it up to Nintendo with that 10 million copies of The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom sold in its opening weekend. Woo! Phenomenal for months. So I'm a bit of a sales nut, like I love sales, I love numbers, always into statistics and stuff like that. So you throw statistics with video games and like I'm there, and I have a deep respect for that and tracking it. And then hearing today, because for months I was calling it, I said it's going to do 8 to 12 million, and I'm just picking 10 right in the middle. And some people thought, no way does it get 10. You're talking like Pokemon Scarlet Violet numbers. And I said just watch. The installed base is like 125 million at this point. Breath of the Wild is a 30 million plus seller. It's going to do big. I was looking at the sales on Amazon and the COMG charts in Famitsu and the general hype and how often it's trending. Looking at the amount of views on the YouTube videos that Nintendo's putting up for Tears of the Kingdom. Everything was saying it's going to be like 10 million. And 4 of those million are in the United States. 1.4 or something like that was in Japan. It's North America's highest Nintendo Switch game, highest Nintendo game ever for an opening weekend. One of Nintendo's top games ever. Wow. Only Scarlet and Violet edge it out by like 50,000 or 150,000. It's very small, but I kind of think the Tears of the Kingdom one is a little bit more impressive because one, it's a single player game, no co-op. It's a 1-unit release instead of 2, and it's a $70 title with a $130 version instead of a $60 version. So even if you say, well, people were buying both Pokemon ones, that's still $120. But realistically, each one title sells as its own cartridge or eShop download. So the fact that Tears of the Kingdom, Pokemon was always big too. Zelda, though beloved by fans, adored by critics, it's never been a game that has topped 9 million unless if it was, multiple entries and you combine the GameCube version and the Wii version and the Wii U version and the GameCube version and stuff like that, real releases. Otherwise, it was Breath of the Wild that did it and just was this one-to-one level where it was outselling Nintendo Switch at launch. And the game had legs, and that's why all the memes come up of it's got legs and Link's still climbing the mountain and it's never left the charts. Massive hype as a longtime fantasy. Something that I loved from my youth is a hot thing, and its sequel is like just blowing everything out of the water. So that 10 million announcement really made my day. And people wonder sometimes, sorry, I don't mean to talk too long, but I gotta say this because nobody denies when you say, oh, I love a game, it makes me happy. Okay, I get it. Different mediums make you happy. But why does a game selling well make you happy? And people say, like, what's in it for you that it sold well? Are you a stockholder of Nintendo's? Do you get paid any copies? Did you work on it? Are you happy? Well, I have plenty of friends at Nintendo, first of all, so I'm happy for their success.
Yeah.
That means something for me on a personal level. And also, from a business standpoint, if said thing that I love is doing well, that's going to give more money to do more of what I like and continue forward. So that's all the sense in the world. Like, but some people don't see it that way. Like, oh, but definitely that's kind of a few of my reasonings. I have some others, but yeah. So
yeah.
Hey, Mike.
That's awesome. Congratulations,
big
Tears of the Kingdom. 10 million.
Unreal.
That is insane.
Hey, Mike.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Can I go next? Because I just want to piggyback on just a little bit.
I think I know what you're going to say. If you don't say it, then I'll be number 6. I'll go one more time. What I think it is.
No, I probably won't. I just want to say that that this is not my topic for news in my corner, but I was just going to say I'm as a hardcore Zelda fan since day one, since I was a kid. This has been my game, and I feel so happy that people see this series the way I've always seen it. I knew it's always had its potential. I was like, Link, y'all don't understand. Link is just, he's one of the, Mario too. Mario is just a little bit different because to me, Mario and Bowser have always been frenemies in a way. It's almost like a friendly rivalry in a way, but they don't like each other, but they kind of do. And the movie even kind of brings that out a little bit too. But with Link, he and Ganon just don't like each other. So it's very good guy versus bad guy. And I've always said this game has the potential. Why don't people understand why this is so good? Why don't people understand that, why are we only getting up to 9-10 million, this sort of thing, even though those are excellent numbers. Before Breath of the Wild, it's kind of like it would kind of get a little bit stagnant. People aren't. Now, I think if they re-release it on the Wind Waker Twilight Princess on the Switch, I do think those games could grow legs again. Yes, Vandy. Yes, exactly. I'm looking the same way right now.
That'd be crazy.
I do think they could get more legs and probably get another 1 million, 2 million or something of that nature. But the fact that people understand my hype, my excitement for every time a Zelda game comes out, I'm so happy to see other people are enjoying something that I have I just knew that this day was coming. I knew this day was coming. So, okay, I'm done. I'll talk more when we get into Tears of the Kingdom because I got a page full of notes. But as far as actual news in my corner, let me just kick it back over to Splatoon again. I love Splatoon, guys. I know it doesn't seem like it because I haven't been playing much lately. But the Sizzle season is coming. I am excited for it. It starts in June. We got new weapons. We got new outfits. We got new card packs for those that like the card game that's involved. We have new maps coming. Humpback Pump Track is coming. Splatoon fans know exactly how fabulous Humpback Pump Track is. It is a mouthful. We got new weapons coming, and it's just I just love the idea that all these kids are in these beautiful places that we have a map, that's based off of art museums and malls and vacation resorts, and we're just going in there and destroying it with ink. I just love that. So, so keep on the lookout for that. That starts early June, I believe. The challenges start early June 3rd-ish, I believe. So y'all keep on the lookout for that in Splatoon 3.
That's good. That's awesome.
Huzzah.
And that was news in Joyce J's Corner. Let's move on over to Lynn's.
Actually, Vandy, what do you have for?
I definitely don't have something similar to you. I don't think mine was very similar to Paul's, just in the sense that Tears of the Kingdom, which is that's the mode that I'm in, has pretty much tied, give or take, whatever, the 10 million of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And I was definitely I saw a tweet, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm pretty sure it was yours, Paul, where you outlined all of the things of they may have tied, but this was a $10 more expensive game, and it was single player, and it was, there wasn't like Tears of the Kingdom and a Kingdom of Tears. Like there was Scarlet and Violet. There's not two versions. It was a one game. One person can play it. Go buy it if you want it. And that has tied a multiplayer, dual copy, $10 cheaper game. And I think that was crazy. But like what I've seen to kind of relate it to like the news in my corner of Pokemon is I have seen multiple creators, and I agree to the same and easily say, the more I play Tears of the Kingdom, the more upset I am about Scarlet and Violet. And they're referring to the fact that you can have a game like Tears of the Kingdom, perfectly polished.
Yeah.
Sure, there are some duplication things that people have found out, but it is a perfectly polished game. It looks incredible. The gameplay is amazing. The story could not be better. And I'm like a tenth of the way through it. And then you look over to Scarlet and Violet, a franchise with more money, more people that love it, way more popularity. And then you produce a game like that. And I'm not trying to crap on Scarlet and Violet. It was a game, and it was pretty good. I think the longer the time goes on, I think the more I realize there was a lot wrong with that game.
Yeah.
And they did some cool things right, and I hope they continue to do the things that worked well in Scarlet and Violet. But a lot of big name Pokemon creators and a lot of people in this sphere are talking about like, just wait like 6 years, 5 years for Generation 10. Do your remakes, do your side games, but do not release Generation 10 until you are absolutely sure, like you did with Tears of the Kingdom. You guys delayed that 2 or 3 times, whatever. Do that with Pokemon, because we should not be settling for something like Scarlet and Violet when the Zelda fans, thank God on both, get something like Tears of the Kingdom. So that is what I've been really looking at. And like, it's kind of staggering how many people either have tweeted that or have commented like, I've been thinking this, I've been saying this, this is so true. Like, how did we let Scarlet and Violet slide? And just different things like that. And it's like, Drew, Drew, you have a company, or you have a franchise that has less of everything than Pokemon, and it makes a game that blows yours out of the water in terms of everything besides sales, which we've already discussed. So I don't know. That's like something that I liked in my corner that I'm like, yes, this is 100% true.
Hey, real quick, Vandy, I was going to say that kind of goes back to what I was saying the other week or last week. I think Game Freak, the devs, they have so much content, which is good, and they can do remakes and everything, but they need a break, because I truly don't think it's, I don't want to throw shade or place blame or anything like that, but I think they need a break. Like I said, go meditate under a tree, come up with some new ideas and everything, and really sit there and polish it, because Anuma and the Zelda team, they'll delay the heck out of a Zelda game. And it's like, oh, sorry, it's coming in another year. Oh, sorry, 2 more years. Sorry, another year. They will delay it until it's done. Like they will cook it and until it's well done, just well done steak. Ooh, steak. Okay. So I think Game Freak really deserves as much money as they make and everything of that nature. They deserve to have the same recognition as the Zelda team is now getting, and they deserve to have, like, sorry, but we're just not bringing out anything new for like 5 years.
You know, it's going to be interesting though. Like, Pokemon has a schedule, like Vandy said, like Joycey said, but Pokemon also is a game franchise that typically releases on hardware that's in the tens of millions. If you look at that 3-year schedule and say, okay, well, Pokemon Scarlet Violet came out in 2022, 2025, let's call it that. If Nintendo Switch 2 comes out in April of 2024, it's not going to be a system with 70 million units or anything like that yet.
Yeah.
And what if it comes out in November of 2024 and Pokemon's a November 2025 title? Like 22 million tops if Nintendo could crank out that much. Is it a dual release where this would be kind of cool? Color 1 comes out on Nintendo Switch, Color 2 comes out on Nintendo Switch 2, and there's your cross-platform play. So you could capitalize on the install base of 150 million Nintendo Switch owners and have this other compelling version that's equal in parity of Pokemon, but, of different visuals. But then it might be too hard to make that work, but then it raises other issues. What I wouldn't mind, and I don't want to steal the conversation too much, but or at all really, but I think the Legends series is where, if they're going to spend every 3 years and pump it out because they've got their algorithm, kids grow up, they need to watch the show and buy the comics and buy the shirts and the toys and the merchandise and the cards and boom, 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 and then they grow up and then reboot the show and and that. Spend 6 years on another Pokemon Legends like Arceus, because Arceus was great.
Yes.
And then
Arceus was so good.
It was the best game they've released.
I thought Arceus was terrific. I liked it more than Sword and Shield, and I think it was
100%
something that like they need to revisit, and also spend more time on it, and don't be afraid. Now this is politics between companies and stuff like that, but be like, hey, Nintendo, Monolith Soft, can we borrow some folks from you and like work together? But
please,
that's a lot more difficult than just pitching that idea. But Game Freak themselves, could they be capable of more? Yeah, I'm sure. But also, there's nothing quite like that. Nintendo, their top teams, those top folks. So if you could have some cross-pollination, co-developed title, then you're looking at like the best. But Pokemon, it still does things that no other company does. They're animating 400 different characters, 400 different polygon models. Are there 400 different enemy types in Tears of the Kingdom? Probably not. Does Horizon or any other game have 450 different enemy types? So Pokemon does something unique that no one else does, but people want like, give me all those characters, but make it look like that. There's a balance. It's tough.
I don't know 100% if creators necessarily care about like the graphics as much. Like, we don't want a God of War looking Pokemon game. Like, would it be cool? Sure, I guess. But like and I don't want to speak for every creator, but like I feel like I would absolutely sacrifice the look a little bit of like story-driven, non-graphical error, just like, and the quality of life things that they took away from Arceus. Like, Arceus was a beautiful game. I did not mind the look of it one bit. It ran perfectly, and they did almost everything right. The only thing they didn't do right was it was single player. There was no multiplayer aspect of it, which blew my mind. Which, like, if they're trying to go along with like, oh, it was in the past, what kind of multiplayer? I don't know, but there was no multiplayer. It was like, it was very linear, and the replayability was not there. But then you go to Scarlet Violet online, everything's great. Kind of a pretty glitch heavy 30 FPS if it's raining, 10 FPS kind of game. And it just felt a little rushed. And then they took out some quality of life things that made Legends Arceus amazing. And so if they could, I don't know about, schedule, anime, cards, you have to line everything up, new Switch console. But if they could wait like 5 years to make it look like a Tears of the Kingdom or a Legends Arceus with the quality of life of a Legends Arceus plus more, getting rid of the things that made Scarlet and Violet not quite the game it could have been, that's what I think that like Pokemon fans are just waiting for.
Well, the thing is, too, in my personal opinion, not to cut you off, like, they already proved that they're capable of creating, like, really good quality graphics for a Pokemon game. Pokemon Snap, the new one on the Nintendo Switch, is so slept on, and it is the best graphics of any Pokemon game we have ever gotten, period. But they did it on a side game that's honestly probably, I don't know the exact numbers, probably one of their worst selling Switch games that they've released, just because of the fact that it's a remake of like an older game. Yeah. And it's just picture taking. Like, that's it. Yes, but if they were to take like the storytelling people from Scarlet and Violet, they were to take the graphic people from Pokemon Snap, and they were to take the content people of just like how the game is played and the way that it works with quality of life from Legends Arceus, and all three of them came together to make a banger game, they could 100% do it. They 100% have the assets, and they've proven from all three of those games, between story, the way it's played, and graphics, that they can do it. It's just like, I feel like no matter what game you play, you're sacrificing something.
Yeah. And Bandai Namco, there was a studio who made that game.
And they're the same ones that did
it's
Tournament.
beautiful.
So
Yeah.
Oh
Stunning.
yeah, that's also a very visually beautiful game.
Yeah, so they're
so maybe
there.
bring in Bandai Namco to work with Game Freak, and then have a new Pokemon game. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
I mean, they're familiar with Pokemon. Like,
yeah.
I hate Pokemon Snap, genuinely. I'm sorry for all the Pokemon Snap lovers. I think it's so just boring and meticulous, and it's the same thing over and over again. But I will never deny that is a beautiful looking game because it had to be. Imagine a game where you take pictures, but it looked crummy.
Hey, but
like that is a recipe for failure.
Wasn't it Pokemon Snap like a prequel to Jurassic Park 3?
I know.
I had those little bubbles in Jurassic Park.
I mean, I guess it's kind of similar. Yeah,
you
fair.
thought you were being legit for a second.
I was like, was there like a game?
Those little bubbles on Jurassic World. The game and the movie came out around the same time. And they both have those little bubbles. Where you take tours of places, take pictures. Same thing.
Yeah. Same exact thing. Although one, there's a bunch of dinosaurs that want to hurt you. Yeah. The other one's very peaceful.
Yeah. I like it. I like the little bubble, the little spaceship.
And it's all about 3 million. New Pokemon Snap, that is. Yeah.
New Pokemon Snap, yeah.
Listen, 3 million, and that's the lowest. 3 million. Any lower third party developer right now struggling to sell 1 million will be crazy happy to sell 3 million, and that's
that's like a dang. That's a disappointment.
Only 3 million.
Yeah, I mean,
only brought in 180 million. Speaking of millions of dollars, you add up the base minimum of Tears of the Kingdom. That's a $700 million opening weekend. But realistically, probably 800 because I think that split was about 8.5 to 1.5 between regular editions and those $130 ones. So probably an $800 million weekend. Like,
true.
Think of that as in 3 days, no movie has an $800 million opening weekend. Almost $1 billion in 3 days. Wow. That would be one of the biggest success stories of any Hollywood film ever if this was a movie.
Yeah. What was the
so by the way,
if you
want it, I have two because my friend got the regular edition and I waited in line to get mine and to pick up his. To pick up mine, I'm like, I'll get one for you. And he was like, I'm good with the normal one. So I'm like, I have another one right here. So it's yours if you want it. It comes with, if you can see right there in the back, it's a nice sized Tears of the Kingdom metallic poster that has a magnet on the back that you could take off and put on so you can attach it anywhere. A steel book of the Tears of the Kingdom game. A regular plastic, case. A cartridge, of course. 4 pins representing the 4 powers that Link gets in the sky. And their little, signs. And like a 240 or so page fat hard art book, all in a nice box. And it was like $144 after tax. So if you want to give me $700, that's cool. No, I'm just kidding. regular price.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty sweet.
That's actually super cool.
I have it right next to me.
Yeah.
It's a nice heavy.
Oh my god.
Wait, you said the art book too, right?
And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff. Vanny's like,
Vanny's drooling right now.
Well, I love wall art first off, and a metallic poster
so cool.
reminds me of like one that I absolutely love. Like that.
Yeah.
That's so freaking cool.
So you get this one, and you give another one to a friend, and you make another Zelda fan. Maybe Linz is like, here, take it.
Play it. Hey Linz, I know you haven't bought the game yet.
Also, did you buy it digitally or physically? Yours. Okay.
Mine, I do have the physical one. I'll get the digital from time to time if I feel like streaming it, because I'll just stream it at midnight, and that's the best way to get it. But for this, here. I was like, I want the physical copy. That's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good segue. Hit the discussion of the day, which is of course is Tears of the Kingdom, right?
Of course.
I mean, we have to continue the discussion, and I wanna since everybody else has played it. Sorry, Lynn. Everybody else has played it. There is a question that was asked last podcast, and I said, you know what? It's a very good question, but let's leave it for the next podcast because now everybody has played the game, but then we can kind of dive in and talk about, because now that we know the game, we played the game. Most of us have 40 hours or more, right? Joycey?
Yep. I think roughly.
The question was, what type of DLC could be possible in a game like Tears of the Kingdom? You see how now it opens an entire world of possibilities when it comes to DLC, right? Because we have a massive world where we can have, Nintendo doesn't need to give us, oh, we have a Master Sword trial. No, we don't need that. No more. I don't care about that. Oh, we have a Master Mode. No, it's okay. It's hard enough already. I can't even defeat that. I can't defeat that. I can't defeat Ganon. I can't. It's just too hard.
I'm dying to like the little lizards. I don't know why. I don't know what to do.
Arrows.
The difficulty
I like that. I like that a lot.
Gone up.
Yes.
Same.
I love it. So when it comes to DLC, in my opinion, I feel like stories will be awesome because we do have stories. And you guys like the fact that you can actually join little groups around Hyrule and battle with them in little wars against the bokoblins?
I haven't done that once in 45 hours. Haven't met it, so that shows you how big it is for someone to play 46 hours, 45, whatever. True. And I haven't even come across anyone like, hey, do you want to join us? I know of it from like the trailer, kind of saw some people, but haven't experienced it myself. That's pretty cool.
Can I say something? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I've been trying to keep quiet because I knew Paul and I are probably gonna just like go nuts. And I'm nuttier than Paul, so. But what I was gonna say. I can't give an opinion personally on DLC just yet because I have a couple of opinions on that. So I can't give a full opinion because I have other opinions. Yeah. So here's the thing. I haven't reached. I'm just straight up just building random stuff and and everything and collecting Koroks. I took a little break from the main quest because I was like, no, because that's going to give me more story. I want to do shrines and side quests and stuff like that. So I haven't made it to the end of the story, but but this game, and I've said for the longest time, oh, Breath of the Wild feels like a trilogy. Tears of the Kingdom's just going to be a second installment, official installment. But this game, as I'm playing it, and just the first couple of parts of the main quest, there's a finality to this story. It feels like that. I could get to the end and be like, no, wait, no, there's no finality, but
it is. It feels like Endgame.
It does feel like Endgame, and it feels like, okay, maybe we're not getting a trilogy. Okay, my gut was off on that one. So then the question becomes, what could they add? More shrines? More? From what I heard, we have even more than in Breath of the Wild. Please don't tell me how many there are. I'll find them. We have more. We have a much beefier story. The day the game released, one of my favorite content creators, he got the game early so he could record all the things early, and he put all the cutscenes together, and all I saw was the time on it, and I was like, dismiss video for now. But I saw the time, and I said, that's all the cut. Are you serious? That's like a good chunk of the game. And that's just the cutscenes. So what could they really add that would be more interesting? You already can build. I don't know if you guys have seen some of the builds on Twitter, but people are making actual transformers.
Yes,
it's
wild.
It's awesome. It's amazing. It's like, okay, now I low key kind of want a little bit of multiplayer because I kind of want to see like all these transformers and contraptions kind of go at it. And I have been a big I've had a big opinion of I never want Zelda to be multiplayer, but for this little section, build it and then go battle each other. I would kind of dig that. I don't want to do it. But I would love to watch people stream that. But I don't know if we need DLC because it feels like it's finality. And then the thing about it is that because the game was a little bit more money, for me, I don't think $70 is that bad for a game with this much content. There's so much content. It's ridiculous how much content is in this game. It's a little bit overwhelming in a way. So I kind of feel like we've kind of got the DLC in a way already. They just threw it all together and they just said, you know what? Instead of waiting and charging an extra $25-$30 for DLC, we're just going to throw it all together and make it a $70 game. That's what it feels like, but that's only 40 hours in. It's going to take me a very long time to beat this game.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and respond to that.
Sorry.
I'm on the opposite spectrum, and I do feel like I want to see DLC badly. And what I want to see in this DLC badly is something creative. For example, we have so many bosses in this game now. We have a lot of really cool bosses, like creative bosses in the game. They all have their difficulty levels, right? I want to see a DLC, where it's like a master trial, but only with all of the bosses from the most, the easiest all the way to the end, to the hardest, right? Just have like boss after boss after boss after boss. And I love the fact that for each boss, they're not generic, just like they were in Breath of the Wild. They don't look the same. They all are so crazy different without giving out anything. They're just so crazy different. They're massive. They're just scary. I'm like, what the heck? I'm kind of scared here. Just running like crazy. It takes you more than a couple times to defeat them, which is awesome too, right?
Well, I heard, and I was like, I can't. I said they made something worse than a Lionel.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! And I couldn't believe it. I've heard, and then I heard the Lionels move different. I actually ran away from one because it spotted me from across, way across. And I said, did they get better vision? Because I'm on the other side of the mountain, and I saw the little question mark. You know how the question mark when they spot you, and then it fills up red, and then I heard the battle music, and I was like, run!
Listen. This game has little things, the enemies that will give people nightmares.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The very first time I played, literally when I turned on the switch, I made it to Hyrule right from the sky. I hear this music playing in the background. I'm like, what is that? It sounds like something is coming. I look back, and behind me are this red thing, these hands coming out of the ground.
Oh my God! Nightmare fuel.
And I'm like, oh, what the heck is that? That's so scary. And then they catch you, and then there's no way
you die
at the beginning of the game.
You die. No, warp out, travel, go to the lookout place or wherever.
I mean, I could have traveled back to the sky because the shrines were done.
Bye.
But I was just shocked because first thing for me, it was a brand new. I mean, has there been any other like that in prior Zelda games? I don't know.
Like a hand thing? Not.
Yeah, there had Ocarina of Time had dead hand.
Come up from the top.
Nightmare fuel, but this is like dead hand revenge.
No, there's so many hands, a lot of hands, like crazy, like that with eyes on their hands, like this.
Yeah, but if you play Ocarina of Time, you'll meet Dead Hand. He's
okay.
And just think about the time period, and think about what age you would have you were when Ocarina of Time would have came out, like 97, 98.
Yeah.
And just think about, Dead Hand was what was the evil, scary creature at that time. But the whatever that particular monster is, I didn't even stick around to try to figure out the name. I didn't even take a picture of it. I was just too busy running.
It was scary. I was
like, I'm running away in a Zelda game? Wait a minute. I've died in a Zelda game? I've died more times in Tears of the Kingdom than I have in all my Zelda plays. Overnight, 19 games? In all 19 games, I've died in Tears of the Kingdom in 40 hours or less. Yeah.
So, it's crazy. So Vandy and Paul, what you guys would love to see added if there were any DLC on the game?
All right, I can start. So when you asked the question, I didn't. This is the first thing that I came up with. I don't know if I can say it without giving I don't want to say spoiler, like beginning of the game spoilers, like first 15 minutes of the game spoilers.
I think that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So first, I feel like it's fine if you haven't played the game but are planning on it. Shield your ears. But first off, first 15 minutes or 20 minutes of the game was the best 20 minutes of a game that I've ever played because it was just story for a majority of it. But obviously, you lose all of your hearts, you lose the sword, but you lose the power-ups somehow as well, and you need new ones.
Yeah.
I think in some sort of way, I don't know why you would need these, but I feel like it would be cool to get a DLC where you get the bombs back, you get the freeze whatever
Stasis
back, you get the ice back, you kind of get
stasis and magnesis.
Stasis and all that. You get all of that back to go along with the powers that you get in the actual game.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't I don't know why you would need them if you've already beaten Ganon.
Well, the reason
the
reason you don't have them is because you don't have the Sheikah. We don't have Sheikah slates no more.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We have the Pura.
The Pura pad.
The Pura thing. Yeah, we got the Pura pad. But like, I feel like it'd be cool just to get those back. But then like, I don't know why you would need them.
Yeah.
So if they could figure out a way for you to need them, I feel like that'd be kind of cool to have all of them combined. Might be a little overwhelming, but I feel like they could come up with some pretty cool stuff.
I want my bombs back.
I want my bombs back too.
I want my bombs. And they came in 2 cute little shapes.
And then the arrows, right? That there's only one type of arrow now. And basically you just combine that one type of arrow with everything.
I love that. I love that because I would always end up with 999 of everything because you just get in the habit of collecting things in Breath of the Wild. But in Tears of the Kingdom, it's like, now wait a minute, do I really want to use this apple to throw it at these people or at these enemies? Because I kind of need this apple because for whatever reason I'm on this, I need to feed my horse kick. Because I love feeding Epona because they won't let us pet the dogs. That's why it's a 98 in my opinion. I had to knock off points for not being able to pet the dogs.
That's your DLC, giving yourself a petting animation.
DLC. Yes!
There you go.
Someone built a machine to do it.
Somebody built a machine. Please post that in our Discord. I need that in my life.
I'll try and find it. He posted on Twitter. He's like, has someone made a machine to pet the dog, and then he quote retweeted it with his own video and was like, I became the change I wanted to see in the world. And it's like this long strip and you see the dog like on its back like panting, and it's just this little like machine that's just petting it.
That's cool.
It is very cute. I'll try and find it.
Okay, cool.
I'll see if I can't find it.
I was gonna say more materials to build in the DLC, but right now with the materials we have, I guess people are just building everything.
You know what's insane?
Right? They already have everything they need.
It's no spoiler talk, but like you said, there's so many tools to build with, and somehow in 7 days, I feel like I've seen 3 years worth of content. Like, oh my gosh, you made a robot, you made a spaceship, you made, a barbecue rotisserie for Koroks, you made a spaceship, like you made a
that's so true.
Image into a camp, like a certain thing, and like, wow, this is the kind of stuff that Breath of the Wild thrived off of because people were, stasis, which I do miss stasis. I like the inertia buildup that you could put on a boulder and like fly. So I wouldn't mind, some of these like as DLC, like Vandy said, like, oh, have some of these things back. Rivali's Gale, like, oh, I miss Rivali's Gale. Then again, I haven't played all of the
really
dungeons.
miss Rivali's Gale.
Collected everything, so who knows what's left. I'm avoiding that, but the creativity in this game is just gonna really appeal to the Minecraft generation, and we're gonna see cool stuff. But like, it's just nuts because 6 years later in Breath of the Wild, someone's like, "Did you know that you could do this?" Like, what? And I put in 500 hours in the game. No, I did not know that. So, but Tears of the Kingdom is already giving that. So just imagine, 4 years from now, whoa, it blows away on this, away this week one stuff.
That's insane.
So what?
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna build like a motorized like house or something like that. That's like well lived in and has like all their stuff in it. And
they'll
everything.
recreate up, just a floating castle. Soul of all of Hyrule,
right?
Dang,
I'm coming for you, Ganon.
I have a negative thing about the game that I want to talk about.
Whoa!
So negative. What? It's just pure evil. It's just, the level of darkness and evilness and negativity that goes into this little topic that I'm about to tell you is just, I can't even. I can't tell you. It's just dark.
Paul and I are ready.
I know it.
Listen, and Vandy's our backup, and Lynn's is cheering us on.
Listen,
I'm just present.
I have to get this out of my chest because if I don't, I'm going to burst and yell. Listen.
We're listening.
Can you believe that I was building the coolest tank ever?
Mm-hmm.
With cannons everywhere. They were amazing. It was like a cooler tank with cannons, even cannons at headlights. It was a cannon tank. Right? So I was walking. I was about to put the wheels on the big giant wheels. Final touches. All of a sudden, one of my wheels just rolls off. Right? Oh my god! I gotta go get it. Go get it. It's my last wheel. So I go after the wheel, and up afar, it despawns in front of my face. All right. I'm like, no, my last wheel. What do I do? You know what? I'll just go back in and try one of those little other wheels. When I go back, my cannon had despawned.
Oh,
my entire cannon, the cannon that took me a while to build, despawned. Nintendo, if you give us the ability to build,
I think there is an ability that you get at some point. This was kind of low key spoiled for me, so I'm not going to get too deep into it. But I believe there's an ability that you get so you can save those mega creations. I'm not going to go into it. Don't say it because Vandy obviously don't know. So
what
we're gonna let.
I mean, they spoke about it already in the Nintendo way. Spoke about it publicly.
They did. Well, Vandy doesn't know, so I don't want to ruin it for him.
Yeah,
I don't know where.
I don't have two power. There are two powers. I'm friggin' looking for them. I don't know what they are. I don't know where to get them. I'll find them eventually, but I don't know what they are. Apparently, one is cool.
Did you already visit the four temples?
No, not even close.
Okay.
Oh heck no! I've done one.
All right, so yeah, you're on your way. There's a lot more to come, so don't worry. There's a lot more.
Oh yeah, I've played so much of that game, but again, I've gotten almost all the towers. That's kind of what I do. I've got almost all the towers, and I've done a lot of the shrines.
I love the towers. I like the little puzzles for the towers because even the towers have little puzzles you have to kind of figure out. It's fun.
Hey, real quick, Vandy, man. I'm so sorry, Paul.
Small thing on the DLC note, because I didn't submit mine, but I was piggybacking off of Vandy's like, oh, I like that idea. I like this idea. Something simple, which I'm surprised it wasn't in it. The hero's path. I really like that, and that was very useful for me. I mean, I already beat Breath of the Wild. I already put in like 200 hours at that point. But when it came out, it was still useful because I was like, oh my gosh, 200 hours in, and I've got green lines going like this and this, but this whole chunk I never visited. I just flew over. I didn't even experience, and that was actually a different visual environment. Those were some different trees. That was a different type of Korok that I did not find before. And, that hero's path kind of helps you out. So I hope that they throw that in here. It would be a small, tiny little DLC thing. Give me that without going crazy into you've got some diving mechanics. You have a certain ability that lets you travel this way. Could a DLC expansion be, let's just take it underwater now. And now you have something else opens up. Legendary. And the whole mechanic of this, it's got some top level stuff, some, underground stuff, but now water is accessible to navigate from. Because they have some of the mechanics. They don't have this motion, but they have some of the other thing. The game is such a volume heavy title where Link can navigate in every area. So now you just have to slow it down for water, throw in a couple new animations to do that, and then maybe you have some type of underwater exploration. But I also want to say, could it be impossible? Not with this team, not this Zelda game, because, I don't want to get into spoilers, but this game gives you so much more to explore than any Zelda game, and it's almost 3 titles in one in terms of just what you could experience, not even what you could do. What you could do is a few more games on top of that. So, hey, water could be not too far-fetched, but that would be like a DLC, maybe not the most realistic wish list, but that would be one. Let me, go underwater and
that'd be cool.
See the beauty of what this game's art design looks like there, which would also mean new enemies too, because you'd probably have some underwater foes, which is kind of crazy. We'll see.
That would be crazy.
Oh man,
that'd be very cool.
Underwater temple,
the underwater,
Ocarina of Time Part 2. But
oh man,
it's Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, I actually thought. I'm not gonna say it because that goes into the story, but yeah, I mean that would be awesome. Here I'm saying that it'll be good to have more stories as DLC, but it actually does have the side quest stories are actually additional stories you can actually explore within the game that ultimately could end up in boss battles as well, just like the main story does.
I love the story.
So that's pretty cool.
I love it so much.
May I ask
I can't wait to unlock everything, and then like I want to play all button. I don't want to play play all. Let me have like a
yes.
Oh yeah, I'm
doing it
I
so out of
wonder
order.
what would have been better, regardless of which one you find first. It unlocks 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or because in Breath of the Wild it wasn't like that. But then Breath of the Wild story, it was. I mean, it was good. I liked it plenty, but this one is a little bit meatier, and it kind of makes more sense to watch it chronologically. Whereas BOT Dubs, you could watch it off.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm gonna watch them all. Give myself a movie.
Yeah.
There is a place you can go that does tell you
that's cool.
the order.
Because
collect.
I have.
Don't worry, you'll find it
to guide me to where, but I did not find an ordering device. It's kind of funny talking in Zelda code because, like, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you talk to a certain person, they kind of hint to where you should go, and then at that place, it tells you can.
Makes sense.
You can see the order. I just found it like earlier today, and I was like, oh, so that's okay. Yeah.
I can't plug my ears.
No, I'm not saying it because also.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it because I don't want to ruin it. And then also I was reading a lot of tweets from people who are saying, oh, I can't wait to get this game. I have to wait till, this happens or that. And I'm like, gosh, so people still haven't played it. So I don't want to, in fact, it was so funny. Yesterday I was watching somebody stream it and they got mad at me because I said dungeon. I didn't say what kind of dungeon, but they got mad and like banned me. And I was like, oh, okay, my bad.
Technically, they're not called that. Technically,
but the thing about it is, there's been 19 games. Did you really expect Tears of the King? And then on top of that, we saw a dungeon in the trailer, and then the devs talked about it before it released. So I'm like, if you don't know there's a dungeon by game 20 after 19 games,
what do you mean you get to wield a sword? You just spoiled it. No.
Oh my God!
There's
Link's
bosses.
In the game?
No.
What's wrong with you?
Come on.
Link talks. I do have to say something, and it's not a spoiler. Is Link's expressions have actually been heightened.
Yes.
And I like that. You can actually hear his voice in a way that what people say Link doesn't talk. Link talks.
Yes, he does.
Okay. Link talks. He's spoken Breath of the Wild. He speaks in his game. He says that we're in the person of Link. So basically, what he does, he makes his hands like this, and he's like kind of expressing. All of a sudden, the person he's talking to, oh, so this happened and this happened and so happened. I mean, he just told them that what happened. So it's just that he doesn't really have a voice because I think Miyamoto said it. We are the kind of person. Link was made to be like us playing the game. We are going on an adventure with him. So. We are his voice. We are his guide. We are kind of guiding Link.
Even though this game is a little bit different, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are a little bit different because what we're really experiencing now is Link's point of view versus us being Link.
Yeah, and I like that the voice actors are
so
in this
good.
Game, they just took it to another level. And I'm talking about the opening scene.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't expect for a certain other person to speak. I was expecting that much later, and I was like, "Oh, you scary! I'm scared of you now."
That was very cool.
Yes, and I mean, well, I know. So what's her name? Samantha.
I think it's Samantha Somerset.
Samantha. She took it up another level. The voice of Ganon. People heard it in the trailer. He's in his own little tier of voice acting. He's amazing at it. Even the voice of Link. Link has a voice actor. The expressions that he does, like when he cooks, when he celebrates,
singing Zelda songs. Yeah,
when he cooks and he sings some OG songs.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm telling you. So exactly. And then people say, "Oh yeah, I don't see a movie where Link can talk." Well, Mario all you hear from Mario are expressions. Yahoo! Here we go.
Chris Pratt played Mario. We can get a Link, okay?
Those are expressions, right? Maybe Chris Pratt will play Link too another way.
No,
okay.
no.
Joke.
Mr. Nintendo.
All right. But Link can't have a voice just because he does talk. He does express himself. Mario is expressive. I have him right here. Listen.
Here we go.
Expression.
Mamma mia. Let's go.
There's some Bowser.
That's not Mario. Uh-oh.
That's not Mario. The way to do it is to make Link say very important things when it's his time to speak. But he can still speak less than everybody else, and you can still tell a good story. I told y'all I wrote a script.
Yeah. I think you'll have to be a lot more meticulous on who you choose. I feel like the Mario movie, I'm not saying they weren't like meticulous, but I feel like a lot of it was just big name actors, and they did a phenomenal job. But I feel like with this, you have to be very like meticulous. Like Link Ganondorf is a very like I don't think Jack Black could be Ganondorf.
No,
he's way more evil, dark, sinister. Link is a very like serious, kind-hearted, soft-spoken. Zelda is very like innocent until you mess with me, then I'm gonna frick you up, kind of like princess warrior. So I feel like they could, but I feel like they would definitely get even more backlash when they announce, if they ever did this, than what they did with the Mario actors.
Yeah.
Simply because it's a lot more dark film, most likely series film, way more evil in the world.
And it makes a difference if it's CG or live action, because live action, you're like, ooh, you have to believe that this character can pull off Link. Like that is the one that you love. Whereas CG, you know, you can make it look like the Link that we all know and love, just tweak it a little bit here and there, and then the voice actor just has to nail it. Still not an easy job, but I think so many people who are making films now have such a deep passion because they grew up playing these video games as a child, and then they became a professional in this art, in this sound, in this holding a camera, in this script writing fields, that if they take that passion and you put Nintendo behind it too and have that commitment, anything's possible. Anyone that says like, oh, you can't do a Metroid movie, you can't do a Zelda movie. No, it could be. It's difficult, but with the amount of love that people have for them at that high of a level of quality, I mean, these are people that get paid very well to do what they do at the highest level. And, you know, here's $250 million, make a movie. You get the right people on it with Nintendo, and they could do Zelda, and they could have Link speak, and they could pull it off. I don't know if that's the direction, but I wouldn't mind. I would love to see a Zelda movie. Wouldn't mind it.
With these kind of sales,
I think that's it.
And I'm sorry, Paul, I keep cutting you off. I'm good at that. Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, with these kind of sales, I truly believe Nintendo it's not that they don't take their IP seriously. We know they take their IP seriously, but I think they will branch out with Zelda very, very seriously. And I believe the original Mr. Miyamoto, Anuma would be somewhere in the casting room, whether they're on video or somewhere, but they're going to say, nope, that's not right, nope, nope, wait, he might, nope. They would be very, very, very particular about picking Link because they're going to take it very, very seriously. So whether it's CGI, whether it's animated, whether it's live action, they would. I trust Nintendo to pick somebody very, very, just really, really good to play Link. I trust them on that front. I know who I would have gotten to play Link had this been 20 years ago, or 10 years ago ish. I think a young dye his hair a dirty blonde, a younger Orlando.
That was the first Link I thought of when watching Lord of the Rings. No, Lord of the Rings, when he was Legolas going show, 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 like that was Link in that shot, sliding down that piece of slate, in this big battle against the orcs, and he's got pointy ears, he's got blonde hair, he's got some kind of tunic-like thing on it. He would just pow, 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 and he I think he could have done it then, but obviously it was way too early for Nintendo to hop in it. But yeah, watch Lord of the Rings, that clip of Legolas firing off arrows, quickly sliding down. And I'm like, That was my Ocarina of Time Link or Twilight Princess Link in that movie.
Yeah.
I forgot what was that, like 2003 or something?
So I'm glad you brought
Lord of the Rings first. Something like that.
Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2003. So I'm glad you brought up the Mario movie because I don't know if you guys saw well now it's available
digital.
On DVD. No, I say DVD. Now available on video cassette. Anyway.
8-track.
I'm saying,
well, I had 8-bit. They did release it or release it on cassette. So cassette and vinyl, so close.
No cassette.
True.
Right. So there is a Legend of Zelda little hint in the Mario movie. And a lot of people missed out on it because it happens right away. It happens in a moment where you're kind of like, what's happening? Oh my God, no, and you guys want to tell me, you guys want me to tell you where it is? That way you guys can look at the movie because it's very, very, very fast.
Well, I saw the movie twice. One with my roommate. I even saw it with Lynn. Lynn, did you even pick up on that?
I'm not looking for it, to be honest with you, Chief.
There you go.
That's fair.
You could put the biggest Zelda giveaway, and I'm probably not gonna notice it unless it's the Triforce symbol or Link's sword.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the only thing I'm gonna get.
Because it's so subtle, I'm gonna go ahead and say that way you guys can when you watch the movie, listen for it. When first thing you guys know the system of the pipes, right? Pipes lead to different areas in the universe, and Zelda said, Zelda. Princess Peach said, the universe is big and blippity blippity blip, So basically, she's hinting at there are other things out there that are known, not just your world, the human world, not just the Mushroom Kingdom, but other places like that. When Mario and Luigi first get pulled into the pipe, okay, Luigi gets it pulled in first. Mario goes next. When Mario gets pulled in, he passes by a pipe, and when he passes by a pipe, it slows down. He looks at the pipe, nice, very nice light, and then the music changes to an ocarina. Okay? The music changes to an ocarina.
Oh.
I saw it twice, too, because, Mike, you did a video about it, didn't you? It was you, right?
Yeah, I did.
And the second time I saw it, I was like, I paid attention to that scene, and I was like, oh, I'm so excited. I was like, no, go down that pipe. Go down the Zelda pipe. I want to see it.
With the rumors of Illumination working on another movie, I know Donkey Kong. They obviously they have the model. It's been animated. They have the voice actors. It's just that movie is probably done already. Nintendo's just sitting on it like they do with everything. The Legend of Zelda could be another movie made in that style, and if they're smart, they're probably gonna keep everything in the same kind of universe. Mario, Zelda, and then maybe at the end we get like something kind of Smash Bros. Type of movie.
That's what a lot of people have seen is like an Avengers type of clash where it's like Zelda and Mario come together with like DK and Pikachu, and they all fight the Thanos of the world.
They all fight. They all fight demise. No, I'm kidding.
No, they fight each other for the survival of the universe. That's what Smash Bros.
May the best Nintendo character win.
Right, dude. The best IP wins. But yeah, when you watch the movie now, because it's just so easy to pass by, but he passes by the pipe, and then the music changes to an ocarina, and then goes back and he continues.
So that's awesome. I wanted to say a lot about Tears of the Kingdom. Nothing spoilery, but before I do, because it's going to be at least a good 5 minutes. Does anybody have anything else they want to say?
Yeah, just a heads up. We are in the last.
You remember that one news bit? Joyce is gonna go on a Zelda talk for 5 minutes. I'm gonna throw in this last bit, which, by the way, dude, I love to hear people, fellow fans of Zelda talk about it. But one other news bit. Matt Piscatella, from NPD Group, now Circana, announced today the April sales results for the United States, and Nintendo Switch reclaimed the #1 best-selling console of the month of April, which I thought, no console is going to have the giant run that Nintendo Switch had. It's going to go back and forth between PS5, Nintendo Switch, Xbox Series, and this one for 3 months, and this one's going to come in, and that's going to be the course for the next year or something until probably like a Nintendo Switch 2. But here's 74 months in its life, Nintendo Switch. at the 6-year, 2-month mark was the #1 best-selling console. That doesn't happen. Like NES, Super NES, N64, PlayStation, PlayStation 2. When PS3 is out, PS2 is not the best-selling system of that month. No, Xbox is, or Xbox One is, not Wii in its 74th month. Nintendo Switch is selling in some ways like a brand new system in its first year, 6+ years later. So I just had to say that was really cool to see also today, that in the month of April, Nintendo Switch reclaimed that spot. Now I think it'll do April and May, thanks to Zelda, and then I wouldn't, be surprised if like June it goes back to PS5, and then like we'll see, but like a thriving system still this far in, that's pretty awesome. Yes, the Nintendo Switch, OLED, and the Lite.
Regular Switch?
So
okay.
Can I give my news bit because I never got to give my news real quick?
Oh my gosh! Sorry, Linz.
No, it's all good. I know you guys have like your big Zelda stuff. But when this releases, we are technically less than a week away from Umbreon release in Pokemon Unite. That will be a playable character. There's also VGC, there's TCG, there's Unite tournaments that are also happening this weekend. So if any of you guys are participating in those in Ohio, I believe it is, shout out to you guys. Hopefully it all goes well, and we'll obviously have the results for those when those are done. Nice. And then last but not least, technically since Wes isn't here, I'll be his honorary variety news. But the PlayStation Showcase is on the 24th, I believe. Okay. So we'll be getting a lot more games, and hopefully they'll be cross-released and stuff like that as well. But hopefully we'll at least potentially get more titles and knowledge as to what is coming in the gaming sphere.
Nice.
That's only a week from today. So you might actually be able to talk about
Mortal
the
Kombat
same
tomorrow.
Day that the presents is.
Yeah.
Because that's a week from today.
They were teasing like 9,
Mortal Kombat
10, 11, 1. Cool. Like, so it implying like reboot. Yeah. They're not going to call it MK12. It's going to be a reboot or remake of the original. Something. We'll find out tomorrow. All right, Joy CJ.
Thank you guys so much. This is, like I said, I've loved this game since I was 6 years old. So, but that's actually a perfect segue, because I'm going to first address the big quote unquote elephant in the room. The main argument that I've seen online about Tears of the Kingdom, it's, oh, you guys paid $70 for glorified DLC and it has frame rate drops and the graphics aren't great. Okay. First of all, Nintendo never promised us power. The Switch never promised us power. They promised us good games. We've gotten great games. And I want to make it very, very clear. I have no beef against PS5, Xbox, or anything. I really want Xbox to have a really big hit, actually, because those games need to exist, because everybody deserves to be as happy as we are about Zelda. Everybody deserves to have a few games in their life like that, whatever their play style is. If you love PlayStation, if you love Xbox, I want you to have your beautiful graphics and your perfect frame rates and everything else, and I want you to be as happy as I am with my frame drops. I haven't had very, very many, but they are there. But we knew that going in, because like I said, the Switch never promised us graphics. I have to also say, it's very obvious that Monolith Soft did work on Tears of the Kingdom, because it runs as well as it does, and the things that we are able to do in this game, are just like Nintendo had help. Like, as soon as I got into it, before I found out about Monolith Soft, I was like, Nintendo had help with this. Who thought of this? This is amazing. How do you do this? The sort of all the building and the crafting and all these other things. So that's my spiel on that. We know that there's frame drops. We know that part of it isn't perfect. We don't care. The game is amazing. It's not buggy. It's not, of course there's going to be people out there who can break the game to speed run it and to do all these other different things. I think somebody's already speed run the entire game and it's come out to 94 minutes, if I read that correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, 94 minutes. So
in the first day it came out, before all the duplication stuff was found out, before all the other glitches, the day it came out, a speedrunner beat it in 94 minutes.
Yep. And I mean, and that's what speedrunners are supposed to do. They purposely break the game so they can speed run it. So, and people like speedruns. So Good for them.
Yeah.
So my whole thing about the game that I love is that it truly is a sequel, because it is very friendly to new players. Let's say for some reason, people don't pick up Breath of the Wild, they just pick up Tears of the Kingdom. It's very friendly to brand new players, people who've never even played a Zelda game. Very friendly. But people who have been playing the games or did play Breath of the Wild, I love visiting our old friends. I love visiting these old characters, or people that that maybe just NPCs that you really didn't pay much attention to before. You come back and you talk to them, because I'm talking to everybody in the game. I'm talking to literally everybody. And they're like, Link, where have you been? I'm so glad you're okay. Where's the princess? I'm glad you're safe, but go do stuff. Which is that's just Link's thing in life, go do stuff. So I'm very glad, like I said earlier, that people are seeing my favorite series the way that I always have, and kind of falling in love with the game all over again. And then the other thing I wanted to say is concerning the sales, because I was blown away that it was 10 million. I was literally thinking on the low side, 6 million opening weekend. That's what I was thinking. But my question is, that's 10 million. Will it keep going? I do know that I believe that we might get a really big sales in the following week, and then maybe in the third week. But then the question is it going to keep going like Breath of the Wild did? That's what my concern is, because I think about Splatoon 3 and my other favorite game. Got to talk about it. Splatoon 3 hit 10 million within, Paul, correct me.
Yeah.
Was it like the first
from when it came out
2 months or 3 months?
September 30th or until December 31st. One of those two. So that is a pretty big difference. But wait, hold on. No, it came out in September. Yeah, by December 31st. Yeah, it was already a 10 million seller.
Yeah.
And now it's
so which are
it's clear
it's 10 million, 10 million
sure.
6, right?
It's hard to break the top 10 on Nintendo Switch. I'm looking at it right now. The 10th best selling game is 15.3 million. So it's a very tough list to crack. But yeah, Splatoon 3 is over 10 already.
And it is, and those are great sales numbers. But the thing about it is, it's almost kind of like, okay, then after 10 million, it kind of stopped. So we have 10,600,000, something like that. But it's kind of slowed down a little bit, and that's my kind of back of my mind concern about Tears of the Kingdom. That it won't, because I understand why Breath of the Wild didn't come out the gate with 10 million, because people were like, I don't know about this. This doesn't look like Ocarina of Time. This doesn't look like Twilight Princess. I'm not sure about this. And then as the game got more notoriety, practically trending all the time, people slowly, started picking it up and everything else. And now we're almost at 30 million. I just do wonder if Tears of the Kingdom is going to have, even though I believe it's the better game, while Breath of the Wild is important and it sets us up for Tears of the Kingdom, obviously, I do think Tears of the Kingdom is the better game. But will it have legs still in 5 years, so it can be an evergreen?
I believe it will. I believe it will, because Breath of the Wild itself took a while to get to 30 million. And they were talking about a game that's almost 7 years, just like the Switch. And right now, Tears of the Kingdom, just at the beginning of its life, 10 million, and I think we still have about 6 more years before we see any major Zelda game after Tears of the Kingdom, besides any upgrade or remake or port or whatever we get. And I think that by that time, look at what people did with Breath of the Wild, and I think all the memes that were created, all those shortcuts, all the little clips. Imagine how much more with the game that's almost triple the size and gives people even more freedom to do whatever they want. How much more will this game be from now to 6 years from now? So that'll be like, I think this game will easily get to 50 million by the time the next game comes out. I feel like this game could easily get 40 to 50 million and pass Breath of the Wild in no time. But with that said, guys, we are at the end of the podcast. We are here. This is the time where we all bid farewell, because I'm trying to make it like old sad and stuff. I was about to music. But yeah, I want to leave you guys with this thought. Okay, this thought. Did you know that Eiji Onuma said that he felt restricted with Ocarina of Time, that every other game from now on will be like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom moving forward. The formula has changed, and we just have to accept that. The formula, it's a winning formula. It's what got
notoriety.
Zelda to mainstream. No. I have a problem with that word. Notoriety. That one, yeah, that thing.
Notoriety.
So yeah, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm from Puerto Rico. Okay, the formula has changed. He said that Ocarina of Time opened a brand new world to for gaming, and it inspired the games that follow with that formula. But the formula has changed. I know there's a lot of people out there who are like, man, I want to go back to old school, but hey, this is what brings Zelda fans. This is what's bringing more Zelda fans to the Legend of Zelda franchise that we have to be happy for the IP that's gonna now it's exploding more than ever, and just big things are coming for the franchise. And yeah, guys, I hope the Zelda podcast, because I guess that's all we spoke about today, right?
And on that note about the formula changing, I have a lot to say, but I'll say it all next week.
Yeah.
And we'll let Joyce go ahead first at the beginning of the podcast. All right, I want to start out with reintroducing our podcast one more time, and they'll tell us where you can find them and what they have going on in their channels right now. So let's go ahead and start with Linz.
Hi, hello. Hi, I'm Linz. You can find me on YouTube. You just search Linz. Otherwise, on every other social media platform, it's Linz Vids, LINDZVIDZZ. But we're doing a lot of Pokemon stuff. Really just kind of anything and everything. We did like Pokemon quizzes today. We've been doing some tier list stuff last week. So we're still doing hardcore Nuzlocks, just the whole kind of just fun stuff to keep us busy and hee hee and haha until something else drops, whether it's DLC or something else to just kind of like keep us going. But we're here for the positive vibes, and that's what I got.
Nice. Let's go. Keep it going, Randy.
I am Vandy, Vandy323 on YouTube, VANDY. On my socials, it's either Vandy323 or Vandy323YT. I genuinely don't know which is which. But I'm pretty much everywhere on all of the socials. Doing obviously a lot of Pokemon stuff, a lot of shiny hunting, a lot of OG games that kind of bring me happiness. I'm kind of just playing what I used to play as a kid that I got an urge to play until some of the new stuff drops, because I like sharing the stuff that like brought me up as a gamer to like my community who's maybe not as old as me or just didn't have access to the stuff that I had access to. And I really love showing off a lot of the OG games. So if that's something you like, check me out.
Nice. All right, Joshi J, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter, and not a YouTuber or streamer or anything like that, but you can follow me on Twitter at DJ Joycey. On Twitter, if I don't post a lot, honestly, but if you got a Zelda question or comment, I am there.
And last
mostly
least,
YouTube and Twitter,
Gale
and
Network.
I'm just
where
at Paul Gale Network on both of those. On Twitter, I'm talking about video games, sales, analysis, commenting on news stories, putting in my 2 cents on the Activision acquisition by Microsoft here, and what am I thinking about PlayStation showcase there, and mostly Nintendo stuff, as that is my favorite, but I respect and play everything, play all three, and beyond all three even. And then on YouTube, some video game coverage, sometimes do a shout-out video to someone who I respect from the video game industry from years past that I made friends with, so kind of give them a little bit of a boost. And on Twitter, I do that as well. And sometimes I do variety content, like a live-action Super Saiyan transformation video as Goku. So a little bit of a variety of stuff. Like that one you wouldn't expect necessarily.
Crazy.
Nice.
Just crazy.
So, yeah, good stuff.
Oh, wow.
He also transferred into Goku in real life. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where I'm going in 20 minutes.
He
I
is
have
an
a final to
instructor,
teach.
by the way, so don't mess with Paul. Okay? Don't mess with him.
Good timing.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Nice.
That is awesome. And me, you can find me at the Mike Odyssey channel. You know, that's basically Twitter and sometimes Instagram, that other place. And that's basically it. That's all you places you can find me. You can find the Nintopic podcast everywhere podcasts is listened to, wherever it is. I'm telling you, go to a podcast place, look up the Nintopic podcast, you'll find it. Apple Music, Google, Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Randy said. Wherever you can find a podcast, we are there. And if you are on YouTube, go to the Odyssey channel and just go to the podcast section and you'll find the latest podcast right there with the most amazing crew ever assembled on any podcast anywhere in the entire planet history of planet Earth stuff. Yeah. All right, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are awesome for watching. Next week, we'll answer your podcast questions because I know you guys have some questions. And then anybody else who has questions, make sure to communicate with either Randy, Linz, Paul, Joycey, or Wes to put your question before the podcast films on Wednesday. That way you can hear it on Friday.
Nice.
All right. That is going to do it for this episode of the podcast. But before we let you go, we got 2 important things we need to let you know. Number 1, never, ever give up. And number 2, journey on. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
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 I don't see Joycey saying bye. Are you waving, Joycey?
I am.
Joycey.
Peace.